It's not about where the shoe was made, but it is about what you expect. This is a modern Asia custom order, Doc Marten 1460. This is a modern made in Asia Pascal. This is a modern made in England. And then this is a vintage made in England. So the sole on these, as you see, it is pretty dense. So I'm gonna expect for these to have some kind of give in here. And as we noticed, deep inside they do have a foam, but the density of it is not bad. Other thing is, when these were ordered by the British Shoe Company, the leather that they chose is a lot stiffer and not as processed. So if you notice, most of the color pops or other modern made in Asia, you'll notice that it has more of this gloss extra finish, which depends on the coat that they have. So when they do scuff, it ends up looking like almost like thick paint going together, which is great because it gives it that look, but then at the same time some people find the scuffing look a little bit cheap. The other thing that's great about these is that even though most of the modern made in China, when it does have some graphic on it, it is printed on, they actually screened this and embossed it. So this is similar. This is like the difference between the two CBGBs. There's the black CBGB for the 60th anniversary that has the logo on the toe screened and embossed, and then the pink graffiti CBGBs where it has the all over print, and actually that's not screened, that's all printed. This is the Classico, has a less dense sole. The quality of the leather is pretty good, but it's very soft and supple. So it just depends on how you actually wear your shoes, how it's gonna wear in. But I will say these are comfortable from the start, where these, it took me a minute. Now they are, but I did buy these in the middle of a trip and I was quite satisfied. This is the Horween leather Doc Martens. So you can get this shoe right now. So this is a direct modern take on the Doc Marten 1460. And I would say it's the closest comparison to what we had back in the 90s, even though this is a direct greasy, which means it has more of this matte finish and it's more supple and you could see the texture and the grains in the leather. So as you see, this is a much newer shoe than this, but this broke in quite well. The sole is pretty much the same density, even though it says made in England, as the made in Asia. So this is quite comfortable shoe. I will do videos in the future in regards to sizing and fitting, especially in comparison to what was done currently, and then what was done in the near past and then the way past. So with this vintage 1460 greasy, it's a very dense sole. It's a lot heavier, but the greasies were quite popular because it did form fit quite well. So I want to go ahead and put this shoe on. It fits really well. But the process in regards to the welting, as you see in many videos, it's the same thing, whether you're making them in China, Thailand, or England. The quality of what is in them could change. So a shoe like this has foam inside, and that's what you usually see, the color, which is kind of neat. So some shoes will have designs under here. I have some shoes that are collaborations and may have the logo of the other collaborator. And because they're able to do the foam, they're able to print that on it, where something like this, inside, it's more of a felt, and the felt is, it doesn't wear, it kind of gives, it gives back over time, where the foam could end up, I guess, compressing and staying compressed. So very slight differences in regards to the quality, but it's just all about what do you expect and what's important to you. For me, jumping into a shoe that I'm going to go ahead and walk a bunch of miles, I'm going to go ahead and choose the Classico first, even though it is the most newest made in Asia type manufacturing. And that's just because they feel like a sneaker going into it. And I think that's more in line with the fashion-forward brand that Doc Martens has become. They're able to give you very similar, iconic silhouette, but with better fashion, more comfort. So what is important to you? You want a boot that will last you forever? Depends on how you wear it. It depends on how long do you wear it at a time. It depends if you alternate. It depends if you're somebody who's clumsy like me and bumps into things. Also, do you want a boot that looks great? Another great example of that kind of hits all marks for me, and maybe you might agree, is the capper. So this is a made in England capper. Has more of a dense sole on it. The leather is quite stiff. It took a while to break in, but now they're pretty much perfect. If you notice the quality on the grommets, it's got nice big chunky grommets. So if we go ahead and compare those with the Classico is not bad. Here on these branded exclusives, they're a little bit more traditional, I would say, where we have the brass ones. They're brass, right? Kind of antique on the Horn leather. So aligning your expectations with where the shoe or boot is made, it might not be the most effective judge. So ask yourself how you want it to feel, when you want to wear it, and really, what does it feel emotionally to you, when you see a boot. When I go ahead and look in the mirror and I'm wearing something like this from the museum collection, yeah, it's printed on. Yeah, if I get it scuffed, it'll end up showing the straw grain leather that's inside, which is, some would argue, the equivalent of particle board. But these make me feel really good. The sole is pretty much as dense as this made in England. And aside from that, we have a pair of Doc Martens. Align your expectations, get the right information, and you won't be disappointed.